episode of Our Not So Simple Lives podcast. And today we are joined by a guest host, Zakary Scott. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and so we just kind of wanted to bring this series to the podcast. We were thinking about it, and it's from a couple conversations that we had. And Delaney and I, we were having these conversations with some people, and it's like, I feel like we're in this weird age group right now where like 27 to 33 feels like a weird time in your life because it's kind of like you're still young, but you're not like as young as you used to be. And I feel like you're a lot different now than you were when you're like in your early to mid 20s. You know what I'm saying?
By this age, you kind of feel like you need to have your shit together.
Right, exactly. There's always that stigma of like, oh, by the time you're 30, like you should have this, you should have this, this, and this,
and that's in all aspects, not just career. It can be in like different categories of your life, and there's one that you kind of just feel like is missing.
Yeah.
It's kind of that age group where like you start to judge yourself if you're going out every weekend.
Well, exactly. And so that's why we wanted to have just a bunch of people on that are within this age group, and we're just going to have these conversations.
And also in the beginning of it, that's when our Saturn return happens.
Oh. See, I don't know. Elaborate on that for viewers who don't know what that
literally
means.
Saturn return is like major. So Saturn is the planet of limitations, restriction, and mastery. So literally, and it also represents kind of like karma. People have huge personality changes during their Saturn return. It's when your childhood karma happens, and guess what? We're all Aries and Saturn. And it just went into Aries. So
that's
we are
crazy.
all having a huge personality change because of Uranus.
Well, and so I feel like we have to talk about, before we get into like the questions, I feel like we have to talk about also our time in our 20s, because we're all the same age. We're all 29. Sorry, I'm outing our ages.
Ew!
But,
I just turned 29.
but you're 29 nonetheless.
Like literally, I just turned 29 and she did too. So he's
You know what?
95.
Okay.
We're 96 babies.
Let's calm down. So
I'm not calm.
we went through a pandemic. That's what I was talking about yesterday. So we went through a pandemic when we were like 24 years old. And I think that's like the biggest thing that's happened in our country since like one of the world wars. You know what I'm saying? Where like everything changed. Like all of a sudden things were now virtual. People were working from home. You can't go, you can't travel. So for 2 years in our mid 20s, we pretty much missed out on a lot. I mean, yes, we did things like we started the podcast during that, but I feel like you have to take that into consideration of when we're talking about this journey.
It was a big culture shock for everyone. Like the things in the world, like just dramatically changed, and it was something that we've never experienced in our lives before.
100%. And I think that, so I want to bring the attention now to your journey, Zach, since you're our guest host today. How do you feel like you've changed or evolved since you've been in your early 20s?
So early 20s, as in like.
So like, what's the difference between you now versus you when you were like 22, 21?
I can wake up at like 7 a.m. And I wake up and not hit snooze 20 times.
So what do you think that it like?
So like that
contributes to?
That contributes to like kind of just growing the fuck up.
Well, exactly. So do you think that like it's just?
I used to sleep until like 3 p.m. You guys, like I couldn't get up.
We lived together.
Yeah,
at one point,
and like we've known each other for years too. But like it's like I could not if my life depended on it, dude. I started beauty school early 20s, but early 20s. 23, graduated when I was like 24. Then I got married at 25.
So I feel like you're kind of on this trajectory where it's like, okay, you've checked off a lot of the boxes. You graduated with a certificate.
I got married at 26. Certificate 25. No, same age, 26. So yeah.
But anyway, you've done all this in your like mid 20s some people haven't even accomplished that yet and they feel like they're behind. So how do you feel like you are in your life now in comparison to people that are your age?
I feel like being married at 29 years old, I feel like I'm still too young. Just because I'm one of the only friends that are really married in San Diego. you know, a lot of our friends here, they're not married. So, and then back home, it's way different. People have kids at our age, and it's just like, it's weird. It's a culture shock, and I'm gay, and we're gay.
Yeah.
So like, it's different. Like,
So you're just
well, it's
not
always-
around too many people that are married. You're not
yeah,
around
and
too
like,
many
I
couples
really,
that are
really,
married.
really want kids in this 20, whatever to 33 age group that we're talking about the topic. So I guess even going back to talking about when we were early 20s, I could not have kids. There's no way. But now I'm
No.
like, yo, I could have kids. So I guess that's the difference.
Yeah. So do you
Maturity, growing up, and also investing. I
making smarter decisions?
didn't literally.
I just think that it depends on the group you're with too, on your friend group. And that's where the comparison game comes in. I feel like that's why a lot of people around this age feel like they're behind because they constantly play this comparison game with each
comparison
other,
game, yeah.
where it's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, my friend's married and I'm not even in a relationship, or like my friend owns a house and I don't own a house.
Yeah.
You know, there's like all this comparison to other people, and I think social media,
Well,
we
and you
talked
just go
about
down
it.
a rabbit hole. You're like, well, how
Yep.
can they do that and I can't? And then you just like start. It goes down a rabbit hole. You're like, okay, why can't I do this? But they're able to do this. If they could do this, why? You know.
Yeah,
So
and-
it's just kind of like it's
And
just going down a bad cycle for yourself.
And I think
Right.
that like this is also another little bell going off in my head, because like we all need to count the accomplishments that we've done. You came here and got a bachelor's degree.
I know.
We're not from
Freshly.
here. You're Rent. You went to school. You went to school full time, and you did that and worked, paid rent, and you did a podcast. Psycho. And then this one over here just moves here on a whim. And like, you've been here for how many years?
This year's gonna be 4 years.
4 years of supporting yourself.
I would have never thought I'd be here this long.
I didn't think you were going to be here this long. I'm just kidding.
I don't think. No, seriously. Like I think my family didn't think I was gonna be here this long. Friends of
Well,
mine.
you thought it was
didn't
like
think-
a little short-lived. You thought, okay, we're gonna be in San Diego for a little bit, and then you're done.
And I
you
said
know?
this in a
And
past.
which one of our friends have done that? You know what I mean?
Well, and I said this in a past episode. I don't know which episode it was, but I was saying like, you know, coming here, like making, because you guys wanted me to come down here because they both were here before I was, and you guys were like, Lainey, just move here. Like it's so great. You're gonna love it. Like I know this is what you want. And I was like, okay, haha, like that must be like great. You know, maybe one day. But I really took a lot of time to decide whether or not this would be the right move for me.
Yeah.
Because I have moved places and not stayed there very long, or things fell through.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of like, it seemed like it was like kind of out of nowhere. It's like, okay, like I'm just gonna do it. But I really had this simmering on my mind for a long time because you guys wanted me to move there probably a year before I actually moved. So I really took the time to consider. I visited so much during the pandemic too, which
Yeah.
You were
was
such a
probably
travel queen.
it was kind of a no-no. You probably shouldn't have done that. But I really was like scoping the area out when I was here, learning all the places. You guys were showing me all the things. So I really was like taking mental notes. Okay, like I know my way around. I especially know my way around the San Diego airport because I've been there so much. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Same.
if you know my friends really want me to do this, I feel like I could do this based off of my experiences I've had traveling here. So it took me a lot of time to get to that decision.
Well,
And
and remember the late night walks? Like, I know we've talked about it
Exactly.
before, but I feel like with the three of us together, like, because, you know, we like would always go on those walks in Chicago when we were like 20, 21.
We moved
at
here
like
to
10 p.m.
literally because of those walks.
And it's
We
crazy
did.
because we really manifested that. I mean, I don't think really at the time any of us really understood what manifesting was. We were so young. We were
Remember
just, like, having fun.
Giovanna? You guys will never move there.
Oh my God, G, that's so funny. G's gonna be on the podcast in a little bit.
Well,
but
you know
3
what's-
weeks, three more episodes.
You know
Yeah.
what's so crazy though, going back to those late night walks, like back in Schaumburg by your house, I would work a full 8-hour shift
I know.
at the place I was working at the time, would come to your house because I would close every night. So I would come to your house around 11 o'clock.
Like, yeah,
and
late.
I would leave at like 1 or 2 in the. catch me doing that right now? Absolutely not.
We used to walk to
Because
Jewel
we-
Osco and
we
County
wanted
Donuts.
change.
Yeah.
Like, we
But it's the
wanted
thing, yeah,
change
we were
so
like,
bad.
we were so caught up on this idea of being in the entertainment industry that we were so motivated and inspired
We
by
were just
it.
very young and ambitious, and these walks were like our creative times
Yeah.
with the three of us. And can I just say for the moment,
Say
the
it.
three of us have not been together in such a long time.
I
like,
know.
Talking like this, so
That's another
letting
difference
everyone
between
know.
early ages and now. As we become older, we have such insane schedules in our little burnout. We can't do that anymore.
Well, that's what I was saying is that, so in comparison in this conversation, like our early 20s, like, you know, we work like an 8-hour shift and then go out and like do whatever we wanted. And now I feel like as you get older, you get a little more responsibilities.
like a double.
like a double
Remember
shift.
we did a 1 DVD, a 12,
12 DVD.
Oh
No.
my gosh. So 12 DVD is 12 till like the dinner rush is over. And we worked at Olive Garden.
No break. Don't forget the no
Soup,
break.
salad, unlimited.
Unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks, no breaks.
6 top, 8 tops, and a 4 top.
isn't that
You're in the
illegal?
weeds.
Isn't that illegal not to have a break?
No, well,
It was
so,
different.
it was
Illinois,
in
the
Chicago,
laws,
right?
yeah.
In San Diego, that would never happen.
No.
But
Yeah.
in Chicago, they
We were also like, we had the energy. We asked for that.
100%. I wanted a 12 DVD.
I was like, put
'cause
me
I'm
in a
like,
12
first class.
DVD
you
in
wanting a
section
12
13.
I still do those 12 DVDs pretty well. I get breaks now in San Diego, but I be doing doubles like once a week, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I love that because you get off earlier.
And
but
you
it's
would
a
make
long
so
day.
much money because like they would cut everyone, and sometimes I would have up to at Olive Garden. I would have to tip the bus for like $50, but I could take up to like 7 tables with Maria's help.
with Maria's help.
Maria.
You're shouting her out. Yes.
Shout out to
I love-
Maria
I don't
if
know
you
who
are.
Maria is, but shout out for you.
Shout out to Maria
She
at the
knows.
Carol Stream Olive Garden. Bloomingdale Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
We love you.
Yeah,
Girl
it was
Stream's
just such a
close.
different time. I think early 20s, you know, I remember we went out to that party bus for your 21st birthday
Yeah.
to Boys Town.
And I was throwing up in the cup on the way home
Well, it was just
and then
so,
started dancing.
you know, I just like think back to those times and I like look at those memories and I'm like, who were we?
Well,
that we
that's
were
the thing.
able to like have that much energy to like just boom, 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 boom,
We
boom,
were
like
young
go, go, go,
though.
go, go.
We were young, and the thing is like I feel like now, since like you said, our schedules are a little more crazy. We have more of a routine, and we're like, you know, we're about to be hitting 30. You know, so
Yeah.
going back to those times, they seem more simple. They seem more fun because we really were just like not taking life too seriously.
But
I
looking
think.
back,
Like, we
are
were
we having
working.
rose-colored glasses on right now? Because if you would have
Yes.
asked us then, I feel like we would have been like, our lives are really, really hard. Our lives are not so simple, you know. But
Like,
now we look back and we're like, oh, life is so easy.
But like seriously,
Yeah.
metaphorically speaking, like I mean, it really has just like I feel like my mindset back then and versus now, I'm so much more delusional now. Because I am like innocently ignorant to a lot of things that are
Yeah.
happening in the world.
Me too.
And that's how I protect my energy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, my little brain over here will start to do that thing
Well,
that I used to do when I was 20, 23, 24.
Overwhelmed.
And then I start blocking people and screaming.
But it's like
Well,
it's
yeah.
becomes overwhelming with social media, especially we're like really the first generation to grow up with social media.
And now we're adults.
And now we're like
turning
full
30.
adults, and I think now you can really see how much social media does impact our mental health. You're getting stressed out of. You're like getting stressed out over here. I get it. But that's the thing is. So, but here's my question. So we look back now at like 21, 22 as like the good old days, right?
Right.
But now we're saying, oh, we're so old. But do you think when we're like 38, we're gonna be sitting down having a conversation, being like, those were the good old days, like these are the good old days?
I just want to have children by the time I'm 38. And I want to tell them that these were the freaking best days ever.
I think
Right.
30, like I'm
Because I
pretty
wanna
sure
live
that
through
people
them.
now say, I feel like our 30s are really gonna be our 20s, our early 20s. I feel like that's when you
That's what
start
they
enjoying
say.
life. It's like being a young adult, but you know, you are an adult, but you're able to live and do the luxuries that an adult would be able to
Yeah.
do. Where like when we were 20, like early 20s, we were like, ooh, this is new. Like I've never done this before. And it came with a sense of fear because you've never
Right.
done it. So you're like, okay, is this bad? Am I making a bad decision? Where like back then we had a lot less responsibilities, which is why I feel like we do look back with those rose-colored glasses, because we're like, okay, our life was so much
I
more
agree.
fun, but it's because we had less responsibilities, less bills to pay. We were all living with our parents.
Literally.
You know,
And this
so-
actually reminds me of something. Back then I was in Chicago and I would do GA everything. I would sneak into places, right? Now I'm like Coachella fighting over VIP and artist bands with my friends and like bottle services and you will not catch me at a club. Like in the little spot where all the people dance, like that. No, absolutely not. Sardine fish, I'm out. I need a bottle service, I need a table, I need a booth, and I need security to make sure nobody comes into our table.
Right. But I feel like, so let's
Like
talk about
space.
that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I
So-
like space, and I'm trying to balance partying and space, and I do luxurious experiences now, like VIP experiences for that space.
Well, I think that's what
and
good
that's
30
what
is.
that's what she was talking about. Like I know where everything is now. Thank God. I know the ropes.
Yeah.
Well, so can I ask why San Diego? Like, why did you want to move to San Diego? Because, you know, we are like a San Diego podcast, so let's talk
I
about
wanted to move to LA ever since I was 8 years
we
old.
did move to LA.
We did move to LA when we were 19 years old.
yeah.
And then when
We
my
realized
friend-
it wasn't, you know,
Yeah,
rainbows and butterflies. Like it was actually
LA sucks.
It was not it.
LA is not it, and we were 19
Sorry
years
if you're
old.
from LA and you love LA. And
LA
you're
is
just-
inspiring, but that's about it.
It just seems
yeah.
like it seems very
It needs a remodel.
it's like alienated from the rest of the world. It truly has like a specific vibe to it, and
San
it's
Diego
very
people
different.
be like,
No, I
Well, it
know
really-
people that are
everybody-
hardcore LA
everybody that
people,
lives-
and they love it, and I'm like, I love that for you, but it's not for everyone, especially for us who are like from small
also, I like hating on it. I
Midwest.
like the rivalry. How do you say that word?
rivalry.
I have a hard
rivalry.
time saying that word too.
Yeah, like San Diego Padres versus the LA Lakers. Or
The Dodgers.
Dodgers. Oh my God, I'm so gay.
I'm a
A
dead.
lot of people from
I
here
love
though,
me
do
Padres,
like the
but I'm a Cubs
Lakers.
fan.
They do like the Lakers from here because LA is like one of the closest spots, like for
Yeah,
basketball.
everybody's a Lakers fan. Everyone's a Chargers fan,
personally
even though
like-
they started here.
I personally like the Golden State Warriors, but
What are those?
Right. I mean, I.
What
are
are
those? What are those?
it's this. Do you know who Steph Curry is?
No, baby girl.
Okay, it clearly he
I
doesn't
don't
watch
know who those- I don't know who they
basketball,
are
but it's okay.
either.
It's okay.
Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Yeah, we do.
I
do
don't
like the
watch
Bulls,
basketball, to be
but
honest.
They kind of
Like,
suck.
I know
Michael
football, I
Jordan
know
is the
baseball.
best basketball player in history. I don't know. That's what you're supposed to say.
Well, I just
Well,
know.
If you're from
anyways-
Chicago, that's what you say.
Well, that's a lot to attest to why you guys don't know too much about basketball and other sports, because here in San Diego, the Padres are this all-stars here.
It's like the end all be all.
They are like the all stars.
Because San Diego doesn't have too many sports teams, but
No.
Petco Park
I
is the
love
place
going
to
to those
go.
games. Aren't they so fun?
It's the place to go, like if you want to have like a fun, like sportsy day.
And then you
can
can get
go-
a drink downtown. Like it's everything. It's like imagine
Their
like
food
a
and drinks are
baseball
really
game
good.
I
downtown.
love Petco
And that's
Park.
why I like the Cubs so much too. Because every time we'd go to a Cubs game,
I do like
right
Wrigley.
after you go to Wrigleyville and have a few drinks and like everyone's happy for the win. And if
Yeah.
there was a loss, people don't care.
It's
because
just nice
now
that
they're
Petco
partying.
Park's in the city. So okay, but why San Diego though? So we talked about LA. Why San Diego?
I moved to San Diego because a mutual friend, childhood best friend of hers, she moved here. So I came to visit a lot. I was doing what Delaney was doing with us. Like I visited her 3 times and she just did like one lease term.
Like 1 year, right?
Yeah, like not,
Yeah.
like not even though. Like she moved out early because I think there was drama with her roommate. No, she moved early because that boy moved in. Sorry, I just
You're
hit
good.
Delaney's mic. But yeah. So, anyways, I came here and I drove her with her back, and that drive was just so beautiful. And it's like one of those things. When we were younger, we could just do things.
Yeah.
So I was in Chicago. I was like 23 years old. I was working in a bar till 3 a.m. closing it. And then I would go out after, because in Chicago the bars close at 5 a.m. And then I hated my life. I'm like, I don't want to turn 24 because I had just turned 23 at that point. So, and I was living by Wrigley Field. And I was like, I was calling Eric every day because he just moved there with his mom. And I'm like, dude, like, I am like, I need something different. Like, I need to move in with you. Like, ask your mom, like, if I can sleep on your guys' couch. And then Lisa's texting me, oh my goodness, I can't wait for you to come. So I made that decision and I packed up my car. Oh my gosh, if I did.
Well, we can even gloss over the fact
You guys,
that,
can I tell you a crazy story?
Okay, what?
Tell the story. Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
you're gonna blow these people's ears
You're gonna
out.
blow people's ears out.
When I was 20, when I was 23, when I was 22, I met this old man
He's
at a
laughing
bar.
so hard.
And he was like overhearing me come.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm just imagining everyone ripping their headphones out when you just screamed like that. Okay, continue. This old man.
This old man. Oh man. Okay, we'll call him old man. He asked me to live with him because he had an extra room
In San Diego?
in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Was this the one that brought you to Florida?
Yep.
Okay.
And Louisiana,
He
right?
was not my sugar daddy. Like, I was not giving him no sugar. But like, let me tell
But
you,
he wanted the sugar.
he wanted the sugar. And like, I knew he wanted the sugar, and I was really good at being and I'm being a host 100% authentic, you guys. If I slept with this man, like, I would be like, yeah, we slept once, it didn't work out. Like, I don't care. It's not like he was like 60, he was like 45.
That's not that old.
And yeah, it's not that old. So I
Well,
was
you were like
23.
what?
I was like 22.
So that was really old at the time.
And then he like celebrated my 23rd birthday with me. That's who I was, and I
feel
was
like
like
that's
with that
kinda
one other
weird.
guy. I was dating like 3 guys at one point too. Back when I was
You were
like,
dating?
So you were hoeing it out in Chicago.
I was hoeing it out. They all knew about each other. Remember the Gemini?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I broke his heart. He was so sad.
You guys are learning so much about Zakary now.
I know. So I forgot what I was talking about.
Old man.
Okay, yes. So he brought me on, he asked me if I want to go on a few work trips with him. And I was like, yeah, you know, for
Period.
sure.
Why
So
not?
free rent, he gave me free trips. He brought me to New Orleans. It was so cool. It was fun. It was fabulous. I even like ended up like leaving him, and I went and hung out with some guy that I met on Instagram.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, like he swiped up and he was like, "Oh my god, I live here," and I was like, "Stop! Like take me out! Like this man's old and boring."
Oh my
Old
God.
and not old and boring.
So I ditched him on these trips, but it only
Savage.
we went to Miami, and this is when things started getting weird. Like he was pissed, by the way, about me ditching him in New Orleans. Like it wasn't like he was like, "Oh yeah, sure." No, he was like, I had to hear about that. Like the whole plane ride home.
Did
it
he
was
think
horrible.
you guys were like actually dating?
No, because he would bring boys over to sleep with, and like, yeah, like he was on like
Did
the
he think
the
it
apps.
was like kind of open? He thought it was just like an open
No, you
type of
guys,
thing?
you have to understand. Like, I was
Weird.
literally crying to this man about my ex. We were Zach and Cody. Like literally, like I would complain to him about him, and like he knew we were not in any sort of relationship.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah, continue.
fast forward, this man takes me to Miami, and like the beginning of the trip was so bad, I punched him in the face
Oh my god.
because I woke up to him with his mouth on my genitals.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, I mean, I guess valid.
that's valid.
My reaction,
We said
and I
that.
didn't
Started
punch.
with that
I didn't,
first and then
I
said you
didn't
punched
punch like bam. Like I mean, I don't know. I could have, but I was.
I
like,
wouldn't need him.
there was no mark on his face.
Just kind of like bitch slapped him.
Yeah, and he was really upset about that. He's a triple Scorpio, by the way.
Well, I'm a double Scorpio, so
So like
that's
yeah.
weird though. Who does that? That's
that's
sexual.
So then I
that's
went to
sexual
the
assault.
So then I went to the beach all day, and then like met this one girl who ended up being on that TV show where they can like be. It's on Netflix, The Circle.
oh yeah.
Season 1, her friend used her pictures. The girl that I was hanging out with in Miami.
Oh, she
my
was
God.
using the catfish
yeah, and then I
picture.
got to hang out with some dolphin players down all day. Like,
Well,
oh my
okay.
God.
So when you did move to San Diego,
Wait,
how did,
no,
okay,
I'm not
wait,
done.
Okay, okay.
I'm not done. So then, we fly home, and then we're flying home, and and then he brings me, like, okay, literally Miami fight, right? That was the worst of it. Like, it was molested. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, that's
So
weird.
then we get in a plane, we're going home, and like, he's still being mean to me. He's trying to control me. He's like trying to, like, he has notes about me.
Ew.
Like, and we're like, literally, and he's
This
just
sounds like psycho.
It was psychotic. And I remember we were sitting on the Southwest airline. He wanted to sit like all the way weird in the back so that we're fighting all the time. And then like I wanted to sit in the front, and then he did not want to leave me. So he sat in the freaking front with me. And I knew he was gonna sit in the back, and I didn't want to sit with him. So Southwest, you get to pick your seat.
Wait,
And
who wants to sit in the back?
we get home, he's still being psycho. And like I'm trying to like be like, oh, I'm gonna go back to my mom's house for a little bit, like, you
Yeah.
know. And he's
Right.
like, no, you're not.
Oh.
Oh,
We're gonna figure this out. So then he tries to make it up to bring me to a Milwaukee Brewers game, baseball.
Yeah.
Guess who they were versing?
The Cubs.
the Cubs.
The
The
San
Padres.
Diego
Oh
Padres.
my god.
I
Really?
texted you that, I think. I texted Beryl and Heather, actually, because I met these two girls previously after Lollapalooza, and they were from Pacific Beach, San Diego. And, like, we became friends, and, like, I took them on. So it was all these signs started happening, right?
Like leave, get out of Chicago.
Get out,
You're done.
leave,
You're done.
leave.
It's over.
You're
yeah.
poor. You're support by a guy that you don't want to be with, and he's literally
Right.
molesting you at this point, Zakary. So I'm like just turned 23 years old, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life, right? And then the Padres like beat them and everything, and it's like, whoa, like, whoa.
we love the
We're
signs.
on our way home. He gets a call. His freaking brother died.
Oh my god.
He goes,
I just got like chills. I'm like, that's
This
weird.
is
Like,
such
this
weird.
like on the way home. So he's like, I have to drop you off, and I have to go prepare for the funeral and everything.
Oh my god.
So I changed my location to my Apple Watch, packed up my shit, and I moved to San Diego.
So now
Wow.
you're here. And then how has your life changed for the better since you've moved here?
It's been amazing.
Like, it's
no,
just such
my
a better
life. You
energy
guys,
here.
you guys have no idea. Like, I make the most money I've ever. I make more money than my parents make, which is amazing feeling. I am doing things that nobody in my family's ever done, and I'm kind of like the rainbow sheep in the family.
No pun
And-
intended.
No pun intended. And
rainbow
I'm
sheep.
just on a different journey for sure, you know. And it's weird because I moved here, and then, you know, the pandemic happened 3 months later.
Oh my god.
And
I know.
I had my husband and I's relationship just like blossom. Well, there was ups and downs. Marriage is hard, but we didn't get married until like 2 years after meeting, and we got married really young. And I think that's the journey that like I'm meant to be on. And I'm not supposed to have that easy, because love is supposed to be something that you're fighting for, and that's something that I'm realizing as I'm turning 30 in like literally less than a year. Now,
Right.
it's July. Happy 4th of July.
Happy.
Yeah,
for-
we're on the 4th of July holiday. But yeah, I think that just sometimes the signs just are screaming at you to do something
Yeah.
with the universe or, you know, God sightings, whatever you want to believe in. I think it's just like sometimes things are just so obvious where
And
you're like,
I will
you have
say,
to go. It's
I will
time for a
say,
change.
every single time I tried to do something in Chicago, it felt like there was this huge concrete wall that was covered in lube. Like you can't get over it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I could not get over any freaking obstacle that I
Yeah.
had presented to me. And it wasn't because of my mindset or I wasn't driven. I was trying. You guys saw me tried to do
Yeah.
a lot of things. And Chicago's culture and diversity is just more so old money and gangs.
San Diego's more like hustle and bustle. Like everyone's just like more
your
healthy out here.
environment plays a huge
Yes.
role in the things that you do. I mean, my networking out here is insane.
Right. Well, and I feel like to be totally honest, I feel like you have such a unique experience graduating from beauty school, like getting your license. Most people don't get that upstart like you had, like with your clientele and stuff. But I feel like that's because of your personality and who you are.
Absolutely.
And you can talk to people, like especially like girls, because you are a
Yeah.
gay man and you have a very like
Yeah.
you know, big personality and you're very friendly, very social. You can talk to anybody, and so you got a really big.
I should sell a course about that. Like,
Well,
but how do you
seriously,
sell
and, like,
personality?
You can't. It's something you can't teach.
Yeah, like,
because if
and
you were
just
able
background,
to-
just background. I literally have been doing hair for 2.5 years,
Didn't you graduate 2022? It's almost 3.
but I got licensed. My license says 2023.
Really?
Remember, I kept
Because I
failing
was
the
working
test?
downtown when you graduated. Because I
I-
came to your graduation before my shift.
Okay, you guys, I graduated at the end of 2022, and then
going into 2020.
going into
Oh, that's
2023.
right. So you graduated, but then
Remember
you have to take the state board.
The state board, and you guys,
That's right.
I passed like the physical
Oh
part,
my
like
goodness.
the physical part, the ABCD test, like
Mm-hmm.
where you need to learn about like stupid nails and stupid skin.
Oh, yeah, things you're not
my
even
God,
doing.
I kept
Yeah.
failing the test. What is that called? Anatomy? Anatomy? Your
anatomy.
body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my God, we have to know the human body like we're nurses. Like, I know how to get myself a freaking B12 shot because of beauty school. Like, so stupid. But
But you
and
gotta learn all that
metaphorically
stuff,
speaking,
yeah.
like we weren't injecting ourselves there,
Well,
but
right.
but we learned like about it and in the books, and we had to take tests on it. It was so stupid.
And you've been able to build your business from the ground up.
And I
making
worked in a
connections.
salon for 90 days, and then my wedding, 11/11/2022, that's when I quit.
Mm-hmm.
11
Quit on your wedding day?
Yeah, because she was Mila Salon. I'm calling you out.
oh,
She taught me how to do hair extensions. In 90 days, I bled, sweat, and tears. I brought girls in, and she would charge the girls $200 because of the product we'd use, and I would never clock in when I do these. $0.
so you're making no money.
I could keep a tip. For those 90 days, I made $320.
That's ridiculous.
Living in San Diego, California.
Yeah, no, this is so expensive. You need to be making money.
So
But
my client Erin, the Scorpio,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, dude, like, what are you doing? I know you're friends. You're like, you have all these pretty girls that are begging you to do their hair because I had a really good beauty school run, by the way. Like my social media popped off when I was in beauty school at Paul Mitchell.
right.
That's what I'm saying. You had a unique experience.
Yeah, like-
Exactly. You were able to build your brand through social media, through word of
And
mouth.
she was the one that made me do the house calls, which then now leads to the private studio. And
Well-
and I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
So freaking grateful. I chose to not work for a boss.
You really like manifested these opportunities.
Like I
so
literally work for myself.
kind of getting into our wrap up because we're running out of time. But
I just
this has
wanna
been
keep
such a fun. I know it's been
talking.
such a fun conversation.
It's only been 32 minutes.
I know, so we were trying to keep them at 35 because we like to keep things a little.
No,
but
let's
I feel like, but there's
talk.
room for
Wait,
you to
wait,
come back.
we
You
gotta-
have to
wait,
come back. You'll-
oh,
That
wait.
just means you have to come back.
Not,
and
wait,
talk
back.
okay, fine. We're gonna come back, but since we have whatever, I want to say, what do you guys think? Since we're 29, how do you think 30 to 33 will go? What are your goals? Go.
Well, I feel like for 30 to 33.
What do you want to
ideally-
accomplish by the end? Like when we're 33 years old, what do we want to accomplish?
Ideally, we want this podcast to be successful, especially locally in San Diego. We'd love to partner up with different brands and businesses and different entertainers.
So
and have as many-
personally, you want your career to just
career.
I mean, like, just to be transparent.
you want to be like
yes,
the most busy at 33.
I would love to, well, maybe not the most busy. I feel like 30, 31, 32, I'd like to be the most busy. 33, I'd like to maybe be like settling down into something, maybe a little branching into a different venture. But it's hard to predict life. That's the thing. And I don't put parameters on my life or restrictions because I don't
Like, you can
want to
have
set myself.
goals.
I have goals, but I'm like, I don't want to restrict myself into being like, I want this to happen. And if it doesn't, I'm going to be sad.
Sometimes you
know?
grow and your things that you maybe have wanted could change.
Right. That's the thing too, right? What I want now could change in 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be totally transparent, like, yes, ideally we would love this podcast to, be
So you
more than
too,
what it
you
is.
would say you would love
Yeah,
for
because, I
this
mean-
to kind of be like maybe let's say your main job.
Right.
Yeah,
Your
absolutely.
only job.
Absolutely, because we do this on top of our, jobs that we do have that we work every day. And so we put a lot of time and effort and planning into
You guys are
this.
doing the most.
We'll be doing this for 5 years.
And
now.
I want to be a part of this, but like I just like I can't juggle.
It's too much. But you
Right.
can come back. You can be
Yeah.
another guest. You can come back as many times as you want.
But let me tell you, like if I'm able to like have my brand blow up in the way that I wanted to, I will be able to hire people to do this.
So is
for
that
us.
your main goal? You want
Yeah,
your
my main goal is to
brand-
build our team. Obviously, at day one, we're always going to be.
We've always been a team from
But
the
like
start.
you guys, like I really want my brand to blow up. I really want like a little girl one day. Like I want a daughter so bad.
Yeah.
Like I want to walk her to school. Like oh my god, like I want a daughter so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
love
ideally,
that for
I'd
you.
like to be
I wanna-
married
I
by the
wanna-
time I'm 33, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I want to have like I definitely
Yeah.
I like if let's say
Yeah.
we're all
you, that's
33,
more
I would like
likely.
to-
You're in a
I was
relationship.
like, I hope I'm married by 33.
I'd like to be married by the time I'm 33 or 35. And then I don't know, I go back and forth on kids because now that I'm an uncle now, I see how my niece is and I'm like, maybe because like my sister-in-law was like, you're actually really good with kids because I honestly am not the biggest fan of children. But
His videos of him and his niece are so cute.
right, and I feel like when it's like your niece, it's different than
She
like a random
loves
child,
him.
and it's so cute. And so it's like, do I really want? I've always said like no kids, and I'm like, do I really want a kid? I don't know.
I feel like
You
I
just have to meet the
still-
right partner. I
guess
if I didn't have Eric or Derek,
Oh my god.
if I didn't have my husband Derek,
It's kind of an inside joke at this point.
Yeah,
but it's
if
okay.
you know, you know.
I just would not want kids. My
It
lifestyle wouldn't
depends
work.
because it's a partnership. Like you were saying, it's a partnership, and if you have a partner that's good with children, then that helps you want children. But if you have a partner that's not or doesn't want children,
Did you drink this?
yeah. So, anyways, we have to wrap up now because we're getting into really overtime now. But our final question to you is, what's your favorite place to visit in San Diego? What's your favorite thing to do? I know it's a lot. It could be a place.
Okay, no. It's gonna
restaurant.
be it's gonna be the fact that I can go to Joshua Tree for a weekend and it's right there.
So your favorite place
My
is
favorite
Joshua
my
Tree.
favorite thing about it is that I can go to the beach and go snowboarding all in the same day. And
So the proximity to everything.
yes, dude.
But what about a specific place? Like,
Gosh,
Balboa
I mean,
Park,
it's so
Mission
hard to say
Beach,
because
a
there's so
restaurant,
much.
a coffee shop. Is
Okay,
there-
we
what do you
love
wanna
the
shout out?
zoo, obviously.
We love the zoo. I have to
but
go to the zoo.
Iconic.
I want to go to the zoo again. The pandas
I don't
are
think
back.
I've been to the
I'm just gonna
zoo
give the
since we
zoo a
did
shout
in
out.
COVID.
But I don't know what my favorite place is, you
Let's go
guys.
to
I
the zoo.
love San Diego.
I love
I
San
love the
Diego.
proximity.
Yes.
I hate LA.
Honestly, at this point,
If you didn't know already from earlier,
And I love that we can go to like Encinitas in Mexico and do the wineries.
or you mean Temecula?
No, here too we have Temecula, Fallbrook, where I have
Yeah,
my property.
there's so many. It's like so beautiful. It looks like you stepped into Italy. But yeah, I guess the proximity, everything's so close in San
Everything's
Diego.
so
That's
close
what you're
together.
saying.
Everything's kind of like just like cities are in one area, and then everything outside of
it's probably depending on the
is
kind
so
of vibe
beautiful,
you're
you guys.
feeling.
Yes.
But yeah,
So where can people follow you on Instagram if they want to follow your journey?
Yeah,
Plug
like,
your
what'd you say?
handles. Where can people
Instagram.
follow you on
Oh,
Instagram?
like as a
Any
man.
socials you want to plug?
You can follow me on Instagram at Zakary Scott, and TikTok, and YouTube, and Snapchat, and everything is
Is
Zakary
it
Scott.
all Zachary?
Yeah,
I thought your
I
TikTok
own the
was
name.
Rogue Hair.
Except for ZacharyScott.com. We'll get into that later. Someone stole my freaking name, and he lives here in San Diego. He got the .com.
The T.
Yeah, he's trying to sell it to me.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what? Are you?
You're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But don't forget to follow us at Our Not So Simple Lives Pod on Instagram, and we're on YouTube. So if you're not watching this, you could go onto YouTube and watch us lives at Our Not So Simple Lives. Is it just Our Not So Simple
our
Lives?
not so simple lives. Yeah.
Okay, and then we're on TikTok now,
Yeah, we're on TikTok.
and I think we have to
I
start
like
doing.
the TikTok. I like what you guys are
We're
doing.
gonna have to
I
do
was like,
TikTok, so we're gonna try and blow our TikTok up. I mean, so we'll see.
It's so weird when I watch your guys' video on Instagram. I don't click on the page, but when I saw it on TikTok, I was like, ooh. And it came
See,
up
I
on my
told you
for
that
you.
was a
Getting
good
a
idea.
And then I
Yeah.
wanted to go on your page and just start, keep going.
Just like go in the deep dive.
I think
so-
it's meant to. That's
and
TikTok
we're gonna have to go
vibes.
live because I have we have 1,000
Instagram,
followers.
dude, Instagram's dying.
Let us know if you want us to
Yeah.
go live on TikTok and just for like shits and gigs.
Right,
Why
honestly,
not?
but thank you so much.